Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again, and I'm speaking on the subject matter that is most important to me and hopefully all of us. And if not the rest of us, by the time this presentation is over, I'd like to have a few more of you closer to us. And what is it about? You know, I want us to think about some certain things, ladies and gentlemen, that it's probably common amongst all of us. Some of the things that we've shared in our lives and what is important to us. Well, we know that there's a lot of pain and suffering going on in our lives, and I would gather to say in all humans' lives. It's just apparently the way it is. And it has been this way since as far back as time relates. And I think that it's time for a change. It's time for a better world. Time for a world that we can be proud of. We meaning all of us. And I think all we have to do is look at some of the things that have transpired throughout our existence as far as we know. Some of the cruelest people in the world have been the people that has been running the world. They were known as kings and queens and pharaohs and Caesars and Pope and Sadducees and Pharisees, people like that. They've always been in control of things. And they say that they were given this authority from the divine, which acknowledges that there is a power beyond all of us. And they just abused it, and I say abused it because of the pain and suffering that humans have had to endure. And each of us in our own heart know that our God would not cause us any pain or any suffering. So if any pain and any suffering is being felt by any of us, it's coming from somebody else's God. And I'm sure it's not your God that's causing your pain. It's another God that you have given your allegiance to. And this is why I want to bring back a time, ladies and gentlemen, when we can consider that as those kings and queens who have led us right to where we are today, this is a season they're calling Easter season, that Jesus Christ, one who came to earth, at least the way the story goes, to stand up for those who were suffering, those who were needed help, poverty, those who were in jail, in bondage, all kinds of situations, slaves. He came to liberate them, to let them know that there is a power superior to the power of the kings and the queens and the laws and the Constitution. There's a power bigger and better than all of that, and it's worth giving your life for. And if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, who would you think are some of the kindest people on earth today? There are none that you can find that are any more kinder than the poor. I mean, talking about those real rock bottom poor people. They're the kindest people on the face of the earth, and they have been abused more or just as much as anybody on the face of the earth. So if you're going to try to find somebody that's legitimate, you're definitely not going to look for where all the pain and suffering has been coming from. You might look at where it's been going. And I know most of you would have a fear that since they, the poor, were recipients of your harshness, that they'll probably get even with you. But I'm thinking that it will be a different story. I think they'd be so glad just to be free that they would have no time to think about bondage for you. And they feel that the best way they can protect themselves from any future bondage from you is to allow you to be free too. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm suggesting that maybe for the next 1,000 years, in dedication of this Easter, the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, as far as the story goes, that we allow that spirit that we say went to heaven or went someplace else back in those days, find a resting place in each of us. And for at least the next 1,000 years, what Jesus Christ died for, what Martin Luther King died for, what Gandhi died for, and all those other individuals that we might not know of, who gave their lives that all men might be free. Let's do this in honor of those. And for the next 1,000 years, let us make sure that all of our living is wrapped around a concern for peace, for prosperity, for freedom, for joy of life, and the fulfillment of our dreams. And that none of us will ever have to suffer a lack from food and are hungry. We never have to suffer for a lack of shelter and are homeless. We'll never have to suffer for a lack of education and are ignorant. We never have to suffer from a lack of health care and are sick. And we guarantee this to ourselves by recognizing the greatest joy that we can have, and that's knowing who we are, why we are, and having the opportunity to be just that, what we are. And we engage ourselves in the process of manifesting all of this heavenliness. And it all belongs to us. All belongs to us as a gift of the power of love that we have accepted within our being. And what we are doing is loving one another according to the love of God. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, to me, that's worth it. That's worth the next 1,000 years for your children and your children's children to be able to laugh and to live and to travel and to see the world and to engage themselves and be a part of the future, creating things that you and I can't even imagine today. But it would have been started because on this Easter season, we, all of us, made a decision that we had enough of what we've had, and now we are venturing to have better. And we're not counting on others to do it for us. We're going to play our own individual part collectively, that together under a spirit of unity, under a spirit of cooperation, under a spirit of love, that you can't beat that. I mean, this is from God. So, ladies and gentlemen, please consider that. This is my offer to the American people. This is my offer to the people of the world on this Easter. Let us be one together. Somebody once said, and I'll close, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things will be added unto it. Say that you should love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, the body, soul, and mind, and your neighbor as yourself. Oh, my friend. And having done that, what else? Well, we'll know. Let's just achieve this right now. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.